Welcome, everybody, to this week's edition of Valpo Football Weekly, brought to you by Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute. Brandon Vickery with you. Glad to be joined by the head coach of the Valpo football program, Landon Fox, and coach, to not only win a rivalry game, but to do it by the score of 47-3. What was it like to watch that unfold from your standpoint on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. And I say that when, the game is fun, but it takes a lot. You got to remember that because of all the hard things you have to do to get there. And so that's why it's so exciting for the guys, the players, the coaching staff, everybody associated with the program, because you put a lot of time and effort into it. And to see that, see us play that well. And really, we played it in all three phases: offense, defense, and the kicking game. And then we asked the guys, we said, hey, what we need you to do is we don't need you to be perfect, but what we need you to do is we need you to play 60 minutes for as hard as you possibly can. And you watch the film, and that's exactly what the guys did. I mean, is it perfect? No, but we did execute at a high level, and that was evident. And then we played really hard on top of it. And those two components, you do those two things, you got a really good chance.
I wanted to ask you about Ben Nims. I thought a bounce back game from the previous week, a career high in passing yards. He passed for 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, rushed for 1 score. What did you see from Ben on Saturday?
And executing game plan. The one thing that we've been trying to do over the last, maybe month or so is just try to simplify it for him, make it a little easier. So there's not a lot of decisions, or the decisions that he has to make, he understands them, and not go through this big long progression. And so he did exactly that. I mean, if the number one look wasn't there, he went to the second look, and bam, and he did a great job executing his reads, and then put a good number of points on the board. So played well. Ben played really well.
And speaking of bounce back games, let's talk about the defense. You go from allowing 55 points the previous week to 3 points this week. What was better? What changed defensively?
Yeah, you mean last week we couldn't have got much worse in terms of what we did, and I said just it wasn't anything schematically as much as it was just tackling. We didn't tackle well and getting guys, I guess schematically. I mean, making sure they were in the right spots, but being in the right spots allows them to make the plays. But we did that. We did a nice job being able to go back to base fundamentals, and because the team down there, they had an extra week to prepare, so they did give you some different looks, and we were able to handle that very well. And just we hadn't seen it, so hey, okay, great. If you haven't seen those looks, then how are you stopping them? Well, you go back to how you install the defense. All right, these are the things that happen, and even though you may not prepare, you still have answers for it.
Over the last 4 games, you've forced 9 turnovers, committed none. How important has that been, and how have you been able to have such success in the turnover battle?
Yeah, that was something over the bye week that we put a big emphasis on, and I guess that's what I was saying too, in terms of Ben and his reads, and don't make it harder than it has to be. The game of football, there's complexity because there's 22 people out there moving, but try to make it as easy as you can for the guys. Simplify the game. And then, we do take a lot of pride in practice with ball security, with really all the guys. That could be offense and defensive players. We started our practice off called 3600 drill for kind of the vision of the program, but the importance of the ball. The ball is the issue. And when you can simplify it for your quarterback, so he's making easier reads and not throwing into bad looks, that helps. And then obviously your running backs and receivers taking a lot of pride when they do catch it, of ball security, that helps. And defensively, just being in the right spots. When you're in the right spots, the play will come, and then you have to make it. And the guys have been able to make it over the last few weeks.
Senior day coming up on Saturday, and prior to the game, you'll recognize the senior class. So when you think about this group, just what stands out to you? What will it be like to recognize your seniors on Saturday?
Senior day to me is always kind of lost for words a little bit, just because it's it's so meaningful. You're so appreciative, grateful for what they've done for your program. And then also the relationships that you built with these guys. I mean, you see them every day, and you build the relationship. So it's exciting from the standpoint that, that that they're going out there and get to represent the football team one last time. But it's also sad in a way, I guess, because you're not going to get to see them every day. They're starting to move on to that next part of their career. But I just think we as a staff and myself just always very appreciative of the seniors. They're the ones that have invested the most time into the program. And so they have so much buy-in, and very grateful that what they've done for the program. And then also hey, exciting to see them take that next step, and be an emotional day, be emotional for them, it'll be emotional for the staff. And I think that emotion will lead to even more so intentionality of play and wanting to do a great job here at finishing out at home and then on a 3-game winning streak. And we talked about that after the game last week.
And to do that, you'll have to get through a tough Morehead State team that's had a strong season. What challenges does Morehead State present on Saturday?
Yeah, going into the fall, for me, Morehead State, one of the most athletic teams in the league. They've played really well. They're just kind of very similar to us, to be honest with you. Lost a lot of close games, and so they'll challenge you on both sides of the ball, schematically, offensively, with tempo and really good players, and then defensively, it's kind of the same thing. They're gonna bring pressure at times, and you have to be able to handle that. And then they're going to be able to play some man coverage out there and with really good skill. And they're doing a really nice job. And like I said, it's just a couple close losses that they've had that's kind of kept them out of being in contention for a league title. Very similar to us. And so it'll be kind of two teams that, to me, it would be two teams that say, hey, we're not where we want to be, but let's finish this thing off right, and be able to finish for us 5-3 in the league, and obviously on a high note.
A chance to clinch a winning season in league play, as you heard the head coach mention on Saturday. It's at 1:00. You can come out to Brown Field. Ticket information on valpoathletics.com/tickets. And as always, you can check out all the latest in Valpo Athletics at valpoathletics.com. For the head coach Landon Fox, Brandon Vickery is saying this has been Valpo Football Weekly, and it's brought to you by Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute.